Hey, I'm sitting by my lake today. We're going to talk about digestive stressor number 7. Are you ready for this one? It's emotion. I can speak heartily to this. But let me read what Dr. Marisol says. You can't run away from your emotions. They affect you. They both nourish or deprive your body and soul. You can learn to work with your emotions and reduce how you perceive stressors. It is important to learn relaxing techniques and health practices that significantly reduce the amount of cortisol, the stress hormone, that is flying through your body. When you're healing the gut, you must also address the soul and your stress. The two are intertwined and mutually dependent on each other. The D spot, being the second brain, can feel. It's part of what allows it to feel your food, feel for an intruder, to feel that you are not feeling quite right. It is the temperature gauge of your emotions, and you don't want it on high heat all of the time. Emotional stress cannot be denied. And I can say that when I was diagnosed with cancer, that wasn't the beginning of my disease. It wasn't like all of a sudden, oops, there I was diagnosed with cancer. Nope. I had been separated from my marriage for over a decade. We had started to reconcile, and then he asked for divorce. Emotionally, I was furious. I was sad. I felt like my life had been ripped out from underneath me. And then started. But that also wasn't the beginning. I can track that all the way back to when I was 4 years old, when we came to the United States for the first time, and I didn't speak any English. So, my system responded with a lack of resilience, and the emotional stress that I was experiencing caused even more digestive distress. In fact, I can remember digestive distress most of my life. Most of my life, anything that stressed me out, my gut would respond. So, is it a surprise that I developed a tumor in my gut? No, it is not, because that was a part of me that was manifesting every conscious and subconscious emotional stressor that I had going on. What emotional stressor do you have in your life? There is a science called German New Medicine, and it tracks the development of diseases and draws correlation to the brain and correlations to the traumas we experience in our lives. Remember, trauma is perceived. It doesn't necessarily even have to be like, yeah, that was a traumatic situation. One person can experience one thing, a car accident, for example, and be perfectly fine after it. Another person experiences the same thing, and it's a disaster, and it creates years, if not decades, of emotional subconscious stress that creates patterns in their lives they cannot overcome without some help. So if trauma is perceptional, how do you get beyond it? Well, one of the ways that I know I got to understand was using somatic psychology. I used biofield tuning. I used touch for health. I used heart math meditation. This was a big part of my practice. This is one of the biggest reasons, maybe the only reason, why I am now cancer-free from stage 4 colorectal cancer. So, meditation, prayer, coming to a space where time does not matter, where you are simply existing with yourself in a place of peace, in a place of breath. The outside doesn't affect you. You're just there present with yourself and spirit and God. Can't wait to tell you about the next gut stressor. Later.